Jai Shri Ram. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Jagannath, Lord Sri Ram, we will continue the story of Ramayana Part 2, Chapter 12. The search begins. If you have not watched the previous chapter of Ramayana, you may go to the playlist and watch the video so that you can connect the story of Ramayana from the beginning to this chapter. So the story, the chapter 12 it is starting like this. Ram and Lakshman moved to the nearby Mount Prasavana and sought out a large cave close to its summits. They settled in, spending their time talking together and performing sacrifice. But Ram's mind rarely left Sita. His, his only consolation was to describe her qualities to Lakshmana. He longed for the rainy season to end so that he could search for his beloved wife. Gradually the rains subsided. The sky cleared, and the resonant cries of cranes filled the air. Although the monsoons are over, however, Sugriva still did not prepare his army to search for Sita. Realizing this, Ram discussed the situation with Lakshmana. It seems the Vanara king has forgotten his debt to us, noble brother. Why have his messengers not arrived here with the news of their search? O Lakshman, I fear that the gentle Sita is lost forever. What is she doing now? Surely her mind dwells on me, even as mine never leaves her. Surely she weeps in agony, even as I weep here. Ram's grief was as strong as it had been when Sita was abducted 4 months ago. Ram felt powerless. He was still no closer to finding Sita than the day she was kidnapped. And now Sugriva, upon whom his hopes were resting, was letting him down. Ram sat distracted by sorrow. Lakshmana reassured him, "This is not the time to grieve. Dear brother, we must strenuously exert ourselves to find Sita. With you as her protector, no one can hold the princess for long. Compose yourself, Ram. Let us do what must be done." Ram sighed and looked around. On a plateau beneath his cave, a large pond had been formed by the rain. Swans and cranes sported joyfully in the water among a cluster of white and red lotus. Ram could hear the croaks of frogs and the cries of peacocks. In the distance, he heard the trumpeting sound of elephants in rout. Large black bees drone around the bright forest flowers. Intoxicated with nature, the sky was a deep blue and the wind, which had blown fiercely during the monsoon, had become a gentle breeze. The sight and sounds of Atman were visible everywhere. Ram was reflective. Where was Sugriva? Had he forgotten his promise now that his own problem had been solved? How could he so ungrateful? Ram grew furious with anger and he turned to Lakshman. These past 4 months have seemed like 100 years for me. I have longed for the end of the rains, O Lakshmana, so that we might find Sita as we agreed with Sugriva. Although I have rendered him a great favor, the evil-minded monkey king obviously hold me in contempt, seeing me forlorn and deprived of my kingdom. Living helplessly like an ascetic in the forest, the wicked fellow entirely disregards me. Ram told Lakshman to go to Kiskinda. He should tell Sugriva that there is no viler being than one who is ungrateful. Had he forgotten the favor Ram had done for him and the promise he had made in return? Did he wish to again see Ram's golden bow drawn to its full length? Did he desire to see Ram angry on the battlefield? Did he long to hear again to crash of Ram's bowstring sounding like so many claps of thunder? It was strange that Sugriva seems to have forgotten how Vali was slain. Vali was slain by a single arrow from Ram. Although Sugriva himself could never overcome his brother, Ram's eyes were crimson with anger as he spoke. It is clear that Sugriva is lost in sensual pleasure. Having regained his kingdom after a long time, drunk and surrounded by women, he has all but forgotten his placed word to me. Tell him, O brother, that the path taken by Vali still lies open. Along with all his kingsmen, Sugriva may proceed along that path. If he doesn't care for his promise, he should take heed of his warning. Otherwise, he will meet again soon with Vali. Lakshmana himself became furious as he listened to Ram. He told Ram that he would go immediately to Kiskinda with a praise offend. He would dispatch Sugriva to death abroad. Abroad. Clearly, the licentious and unvirtuous Sugriva was not fit to rule a kingdom. Angada should be installed as king and he could organize the search for Sita. Sugriva should be punished without delay. Lakshmana stood up and searched for Jew upon Ram, whose anger had already begun to subside. Then checked his brother. I think it not fitting that you kill Sugriva. Try at first to pursue a gentler path. Remind him of our friendship and his promise. O Lakshmana, do not use harsh words immediately. After all, Sugriva is but a king, monkey. Perhaps you can awaken him to a sense of his duty by conciliatory speech. Lakshmana bowed in assent to Ram's word, although he could not subdue his anger. He left the cave and began running towards Kiskinda, thinking of what he would say to Sugriva. He could not disobey Ram's order, but he would not tolerate any resistance from Sugriva. If that lazy monkey did not immediately set about his duty, he would be sorry. How dare he be so negligent of his promise to Ram? Who did he think he was? Lakshmana beat his lips in fury and he bounded down the mountainside. In the city of Kiskinda, Hanuman had also noticed the season changed and Sugriva not staring. The intelligence minister, though carefully about the situation, Ram would certainly take stern action if Sugriva failed to fulfill his pledge. Hanuman approached the Vanara king, who was observed in a sensuality, and spoke to him in a friendly and pleasing manner. You have regained sovereignty, fame, and prosperity, O Sugriva. It now remains for you to win the goodwill of your allies, the dominion, fame and glory of a king who acts well towards his ally will always grow. The king who regards equally in exchequer his army, his allies, and his own self will gain a great kingdom. However, he who fails to take care of any one of these meets with disaster. Hanuman then reminded Sugriva for his promise to Ram. The time had arrived to begin the search for Sita. The king should immediately send out monkeys in all directions. Ram should not need to ask. So it would be shameful if Sugriva did not act quickly to repay a debt of to his friend and ally. Sugriva thanked Hanuman for his wise and timely advice. The Monkey King realized his laxity and he immediately summoned his minister and counselor. He should order, let all the Banaras generals be quickly assembled. Swiftly footed and energetic, energetic monkeys are needed. 10,000 of my army should immediately depart for every country where the Banaras dwell. Have, have them face the very best of the monkey warrior here to Kiskinda. Anyone sent out and failing to return within 15 days should be executed. Ordering Hanuman and Angad to organize the army. Sugriva again retired to his room. Within a few days, the monkey hordes began to assemble outside of the city. Monkeys resembling elephants, mountaining, and clouds gathered together. Those powerful banners were like mighty tigers and were all heroic. They were dark and terrible and they made one's hair stand erect just to see them. Some were as strong as 100 elephants, some 10 times stronger than that, and other 10 times stronger again. They stood awaiting Sugriva's order. As the monkeys smiled about in their ten of thousands outside Kiskinda, they noticed Lakshmana approaching in the distance. When they saw the prince running towards the city, his face glowing with anger, his bow grabs tightly, they become fearful. Some of them noticed, recognized him, lifted up tears and boulders ready to defend Kiskindha. Others run in all directions as Lakshmana arrived near the city gates, holding a locked his bow and calling for Sugriva. Seeing the monkey prepare to attack him, Lakshmana became even more angry. He made deep and burning sign and licked the corners of his mouth. Angad quickly came out of the city and checking the monkey from fleeing went before Lakshmana. Ram's brothers appearing to the monkey prince like a blazing fire of universal destruction. In great fear, he bowed low at Lakshmana's feet and greeted him respectfully. Although furious, Lakshmana contained his anger and spoke kindly to Angada. Pray tell Sugriva of my arrival, dear child. I stand here tormented by grief due to Ram's plight. Please ask the king to hear from me Ram's advice. Angada bowed again and left swiftly, running to Sugriva. He burst into his chambers and told him to come quickly, but Sugriva was asleep, groggy from the night pleasures. He lay upon his bed with any garlands as he dressed. As he slowly stared, many more monkeys come near his room, raising the great clamor. They were terrified of the wrathful Lakshmana. Sugriva heard the trembling, trembling late and come to his senses. He stood up troubled in mind and Angada explained the situation. Sugriva told Angada to bring Lakshmana immediately. Why have you left him standing at the gates? He demanded he should be offered every respect, even as much as myself. Angada, joined by Lakshmana, Hanuman, quickly left to fetch Lakshmana. Within a few minutes, Lakshmana was led into Kiskinda by Angada and Hanuman. Still fuming, the prince surveyed the city. Great mansions and temples lined the wild avenue. Each building set with celestial jewels of every description. The city was illuminated by the jewels' glow. Rivulet flowed by the avenue, and a group of trees grew here and there, yielding all kinds of delightful fruits. As he went along the main highway, Lakshmana saw the large white palace of the chief monkeys. They shone like cloud lit up by the sun. Long worth of flowers hung from those palaces, and the scent of aloe and sandalwood issued from the latticed window. Latticed window. Lakshmana was led into Sugriva palace, the most magnificent of all. After passing through seven heavenly guarded gates, he entered Sugriva's inner chambers. Here and there were numerous gold and silver coaches spread with costly silk cover. Many beautiful banners, ladies wearing garlands and gold ornaments moved about their ankle, twinkling. As as they reached Sugriva's private chambers, Lakshmana heard the strain of celestial music from within. He became more annoyed with Sugriva. The insolent monkey was rebelling while Rama suffered agony. Lakshmana tanked his bowstring and the sound relented through the entire palace. Sugriva was startled. Realizing at once that Lakshmana had arrived, he spoke urgently to Tara, who sat by his side. Go quickly and greet Lakshmana. He will never display anger in the presence of a woman. Pacify him with gentle words. Only then will I be able to face him. Tara rose up and went out of the room. The gold string of her girdle hung loose and she tottered slightly from intoxication. Bending her uh, slender body low, she covered her head with her cloth and respectfully greeted Lakshmana. As soon as he saw Tara, Lakshmana looked down modestly. His anger abated as Tara spoke gently, "My lord, what gives rise to your anger mood? Who has disobeyed your order? Who has recklessly gone before a forest fire while it rushed towards a thicket of dried trees?" Still annoyed, Lakshmana replied, "This husband of yours appeared to have forgotten his duty. He seems intent only on pursuing pleasure. 4 months have already passed since Ram left, and we still see no sign of Sugriva keeping his words. He remains drunk here, enjoying with you and unaware of the passage of time. Oh, Tara, drinking is always condemned by the wise as the root of irreligion. Please remind Sugriva for his religious obligation." Tara begged Lakshmana to forgive Sugriva. After all, he was but a monkey. It was no surprise he had fallen a victim to lust. Even great sages in the forest were sometimes overcome by desire. What then of a monkey living among beautiful women? One under the sway of a carnal desire loses all senses of time and place. Forgetting his duty, he cast decorum to the wind, observed himself in pleasure. Tara told Lakshmana that Sugriva was regretful. He was always Ram's devoted servant, and he longed to fulfill Ram's order. Even now, he was waiting eagerly to speak with Lakshmana. Tara led Lakshmana into Sugriva's chambers. As the prince entered the apartment, he saw Sugriva seated on a golden couch next to his wife Ruma. He was surrounded by youthful banners, lady abundant with shining jewels and heavenly garlands. His eyes were blood-stained and his limbs were smeared with sandal paste. Sugriva costly silk garments hung loose on his powerful lady, and Bali's brilliant gold chain shone from his chest. Seeing Sugriva absorbed in sensual delight, Lakshmana anger was rekindled. His eyes opened wide and his lips set in a firm line. The furious prince breathed heavily and hung his hands, looking with blood-red eyes at Sugriva. The Monkey King jumped from his coach like a tall flag suddenly raised up in honor of Indra. He went before Lakshmana with folded palms and bow at his feet. Lakshmana addressed him in an angry tone, who is more hard hearted than he who make a false promise to a friend, especially when that friend had done him a great favor. O Lord of the monkeys, one who ungrateful fails to repay the service of the friends deserve to be killed. Lakshmana quite forgot Ram's request to first speak kindly to Sugriva. He glared at him. The selfish monkey deserved no pity. He lay here at ease with Rams was pinning away. Lakshmana vented his fury, his voice thundering about Sugriva's vicious chamber. Ingratitude is the worst of all sins, O thoughtless one. You are a lost fool and a liar. You have achieved your own ends, made some empty promise, and then simply abandoned yourself to pleasure. Surely you will regret your omission by when Ram's blazing arrow speeds towards you. Become before long you will meet with Bali again. Tara again beseeched Lakshmana to be patient. Sugriva was an ordinary being subjected to a sway of his senses. No one could easily avert the strong urges of the body. Even the great Vishwamitra had once lost himself in sexual pleasure for 100 years, thinking it to be a death. Sugriva had now been awakened to his duty. He had taken action and sent out many monkeys to raise an army to find Sita. Tara spoke passionately to the angry Lakshmana. Bali told me there are 100 millions powerful Rakshas in Lanka. These must be overcome if Ravana is to be defeated. Therefore, Sugriva is now amassing a force sufficient to encounter all the Rakshasa. The army will be ready within some day. Do not be angry. The search for Sita will soon begin. Lakshmana was pacified when he heard that Sugriva had already made arrangements. He nodded his head and relaxed. Seeing Lakshmana relaxing, Sugriva said, "Everything I have depends upon Ram. How can I ever repay him? Ram alone is powerful enough to recover Sita and is merely using me as his instrument. This again is kindness on me. I only wish to serve him in whatever way I can. Please forgive any transgression of my part, for there is no servant who is without fault." Lakshmana began to feel ashamed of his angry outburst. He spoke kindly to Sugriva, "With you as his supporter, my brother is blessed in every way. Oh, gallant monkey, I feel sure he will soon destroy his enemy with your assistance. Forgive, please forgive my harsh word, for I am surely afflicted by my brother's plight." Lakshmana asked Sugriva to come with him to see Ram. Sugriva immediately had a large palanquin fetched and he mounted it along with Lakshmana accompanied by Sugriva's ministers. They departed towards Prasavarabhana. The golden palanquin covered by a white canopy was carried swiftly towards the mountain where Ram waited. Conches and cattle drums were sounded as the procession of monkeys moves in a state. Sugriva was surrounded by many who were like monkeys bearing weapons in their hand. He was hand on both sides by his servants and you by batch of batch as they travel. As they soon arrived at Ram's cave, Sugriva jumped from the palanquin and prostrated himself at Ram's feet, who lifted the monkeys embraced him with love. Ram seated Sugriva on the ground and sitting next to him, spoke in a gentle voice. A wise king is he who pursues in their proper order religion, wealth and pleasure, allotting proper time to each. He who pursue any pleasure, neglecting the other two, uh, wake up after falling like one asleep on a tree top. The king who wins pure allies and destroys sinful foes again great religious merit. O Sugriva, the time has come for you to make an effort for merit. What then has been done, O king? Sugriva replied that he was ever indebted to Ram for his kindness and favor. The manner king explained how he had dispatched thousands of monkeys to gather an army. Soon there would be millions of hairy monkey bears and balloons gathered at Kiskindha. All of them were sprung from the lions of gods and Gandharvas, and all were terrible warriors capable of changing their forms at will. Sugriva would have at his command a vast army, countless in number. They would quickly find Ravana completely uproot him and recover Sita. Ram was delighted and he looked like a blue lotus in full bloom. He embraced Sugriva tightly. It is no surprise that one of your caliber rendered such good to his friends. With you by my side, I shall easily conquer my enemies. O Sugriva, you are my greatest well-wisher and are fit to help me in every way. Rama and Sugriva discussed for some time, planning how to make their search. Sugriva then left to meet with the emis- emissaries who were returning with the troops they had gathered. As millions of fierce monkey warriors come to Kiskindha, the earth vibrated. The massive cloud rose up and veiled the sun. The trees shook, standing down a shower of living leaves and blossom. The entire region for miles around became thickly polluted by monkeys who looked like mountains. Some were golden hung like the rising sun. Some were as red as coppers and some blue as the skies. Others were as white as the moon and still other others as blackish as thunder cloud. All of them like great mountains. Lions had frightening teeth and clouds. The leaders approached Sugriva and asked for his command. Sugriva took all of them and went again into Ram's presence. One by one, introduced the banner's chiefs, and they had bowed low at Ram's feet. Sugriva concluded these warriors are righteous, brave, and powerful. They can move on land, water, and through the air. They have conquered fatigue and are famous for their exploits. All of them have arrived by bringing thousands and millions of followers. So, oh Ram, these wanderers are ready to do your bidding. Please give your command. Ram stood up and embraced Sugriva. It must be ascertained whether or not Sita still alive. O noble one, find out where Ravana's land is located. Once we find this information, we shall then do what is necessary. Sugriva then assigned four parties to search for direction. He gave detailed description of the countries where they should look and then added. This search should be conducted only over the next month. Then you should return. Anyone returning after a mount will be subject to death. Ram and his great purpose should be constantly remembered by all of you. May success be yours. Sugriva had asked Hanuman to assist Angad in leading the search party to the south. This was the direction where Ravana would most likely to found, as he had been seen flying that way with Sita. Sugriva spoke with Hanuman just before he left. There is nothing on earth or in the heaven that can obstruct your movement. O valiant son of the wind god, you are no less than your great father in powers. There is no created being on earth equal to you in strength and vigor. On you rest my main hope of finding Sita. Rama had heard Sugriva speaking with Hanuman and he saw his eager expression. It was clear he was confident of success as much as Sugriva was sure that his minister would find Sita. Ram was overjoyed. He went to Hanuman and gave the monkey a ring inscribed with his name. Take this token, O jewel among monkeys, and show it to Sita. This will reassure her that I sent you. I feel sure you will soon see the princess. Hanuman, Hanuman took the ring and tossed it to his head. He prostrated himself at Ram's feet and prayed for his blessing. Then, looking like the full moon surrounded by a galaxy of stars, he left with his party. The Vanaras and bears all left with great haste, shouting at howling, thundering and roaring, glowing, growling and shrinking. They ran in the four directions. The monkey chiefs cried out in different ways. I shall destroy Ravana and bring back Shiva. Single-handed, I shall kill that demons and recruit Janakar daughters, even from the fires of hell. I shall smash down trees, cleave great mountains and turn of the ocean. I will certainly find the princess. I can leap across the sea a distance of 800 miles. I will bound up Mount Meru and enter the bowels of the earth until Sita is found. While boasting of their power in this and other way, the monkey gradually disappeared. Uh, After the monkey had left, Ram spoke to Sugriva. I was surprised to hear your extensive description of this earth. How do you know it so well? Sugriva replied that he had seen every part of the world while running away from Valley. My angry brother chased me in all the direction he had. As I dashed away in fear, I saw every part of the wide earth as if it were the impression of the clouds hoof. With Bali always behind me, I ran with tremendous speed. Finally, I remembered Matanga's cross and came to the Rishimoka. Where open Bali left me alone. Ram laughed to hear Sugriva. The two friends sat speaking together for some time. Sugriva left for Kiskinda to await the return of the search parties. The monkey dispatched by Sugriva began their search. They scanned cities, towns, and villages. Soaring woods and forests, they climbed mountains and dived into lakes and rivers. They explored a deep cave here and entered a hole in the earth. Going as far as possible in the direction they were assigned, they scrupulously searched everywhere for Ravana and Sita. Even after searching for a month, however, they were not successful. One by one, the parties returned fearful to Sugriva. From the north, from north came Saptavali body, disappointedly reporting his failure. Bhinata returned from the east, also without success. From the west came Susena, again without having discovered Sita's whereabouts. In the south, Hanuman and Angada and their party travelled a great distance. The month had almost passed, and still there were no signs of Sita. They reached the plains surrounding the Vindhya mountains. It was a so desolate region, full of caves and thick forest, waterless and uninhabited. The whole area had been rendered with a wilderness by the curse of a sage many years previous, who had been angered by his young son's death. Thousands of monkeys combed the entire terrain, penetrating more and more into the frightful area. They suddenly came upon to huge Rakshasa, seeing the demons, who looked like a hill. The monkeys stood with their lions tightly graded, ready to fight. The demons saw the monkeys and bellowed out, "You are gone." Angada, though thought the demons to be the Ravana, he became enraged and rose straight towards the roaring Rakshasa, who raised his massive hand to strike the monkey. Angada lifted, lifted high and dogged the blow, swinging his powerful arms as he flew. The banners hit the Rakshasa on the head with the outstretched palms. The blow was tremendous, and the demons vomited blood and fled to the ground. After examining the dead Rakshasa and realizing that it was not Ravana, the monkeys continued their search. The vast Vindhyan range was filled with innumerable caves. The monkeys systematically entered each and every one. They climbed every mountain and searched all woods and groves. Gradually, they moved further and further south. Not finding Ravana and Sita anywhere, they become more fatigued, more and more fatigued and disappointed. The month allotted by Sugriva passed, and still they had no clue as to where Sita and they had been taken. One day, one day when they were exhausted and watched by thirsty, they came upon the entrance of a huge cavern. They saw birds emerging from its with their wings dripping with the water. The monkeys decided to enter the dark cave. They formed a long 8 miles chain to avoid getting lost. Birds sninked and birds flew past them. Occasionally, the growl of a lion or a tiger was heard. As they went deeper into the cave, they saw ahead of them a bright light. They moved quickly towards the light and came upon a huge open area brilliantly lit by thousands of shining golden trees. The trees were adorned with brightly colored flowers and leaves, and they bore fruits which shone like rubies and emeralds. The trees emerged in a large lotus pond of clear water filled with golden fish. The monkey saw a palace of gold and silver, set with a cat's eyes, gems, and covered with the lactics of pearls. On the other side were spacious coaches and seats studded with various kinds of gems. Mounts of gold and silver vessels lay here and there, as well as pearls of colors jewels. They were collecting of sandalwood and wood carving, as well as many first-class palanquin laying about piles of costly ethereal textile of indescribable beauty lay on the floor. Celestial food and drinks of every kind of spread on a gold table, and they were dashing heaps of gold everywhere. The monkeys were stunned by the sight, and they stood looking all around their mountain hanging open. Then they saw an ascetic lady clad in black, their skin sitting some distance from them. She shone with yogic power as she sat in meditation. Hanuman approached her and respectfully inquired who she was and in whose cave they now found themselves. The woman's name was Swa- Swayamprabha, and she explained that is the cave and all its wonders had been created by Maya, the architecture of the celestial demons. He had dwelt and there for some time, being finally slain by Indra for the sake of an Apsara whom Indra himself had coveted. The Apsara had lived in the cave with Swayamprabha as her servant. She had now returned to heaven, leaving Swayamprabha to her meditation. The ascetic lady thus gazed at the monkeys. She could understand that were Ram's servant. They were Ram's servant. She had seen Rams in her meditation and understood his divine identity. She was pleased to have the opportunity to serve Rams by entertaining his servants. The yogini have gave the monkeys delicious food and drinks which invigorated them. As they ate, they told her to their mission. When they had finished eating, the hermitage asked them to close their eyes and see would they take them out of the cave. The monkeys compiled, and in a moment they mysteriously found themselves again standing at the entrance to the caravan. Swayamprabha told them to continue their search and then looked early, disappearing back inside. The monkeys stood outside of the cave, amazed but refreshed from their celestial repast. They carried on vigorously, searching and soon reached the southern ocean. Realizing that they had looked everywhere in the whole southern region without success, they fell prey to anxiety. It was now more than 6 weeks since they had left. The monkeys were fearful of Sugriva's anger when they returned, and they sat together discussing what to do. Angada spoke. The king will certainly have us to put to death upon our late return. Unsuccessful in our mission. Therefore, I suggested that rather than return in the same we sit here and fast until life leaves our body. How can we go back and face execution in front of our near and dear ones? Some of the monkey agreed, and others recommended that continue searching for some time before giving up. One of the suggested then re-enter Swamprabha caves and live out of rest of their daily happily. They this met with approval from other monkeys, but Hanuman disagreed. I do not approve of this course of action. Oh, Vanaras, he dead, forgetting your master cause and actually forming the an enmity by abandoning him is not at all a wise move, nor will Ram and Lakshmana tolerate it. Those prince will tear Maya's cave and are shot in no time. Their arrows fall with the force of Indra thunderbolts. Bolt. All of us will be annihilated. Hanuman continued to speak, praising Sugriva's quality. We need not fear the monkey's king. He regards all his subjects with the loves and would certainly not kill Angada, the son of his dear wife Tara. Nor will Sugriva be harsh towards you other. We have all tried our best to find Sita and now return to Kiskinda, reporting to the king of for order. Angada did not appreciate Hanuman's speech. He especially disliked hearing Sugriva praise. The the monkey prince became angry. No good quality are to be found in Sugrivan. Indeed, the worthless monkey had taken to wife his mother in the shape of Tara. He locked up my father in caves and obstruct his kingdom. Although Ram surrendered him a great favor, the ungrateful West soon forget his debt to the prince of Ayodhya. What pity does he possesses? He only he incited this speech for Sita out of fierce Lakshmana. Angada still bond within from the killing of his father brought about by Sugriva. How could Sugriva ever be kind towards the son of his mortal enemy? Now there would be more than sufficient excuse for him to punish Angada, who had failed in his mission and had committed treason by showing dissension among the other monkeys. He was sure that Sugriva would either kill him outright or cast him into chains for the rest of his life. Angada determined to sit there on the beach and fast until they say he sank towards the ground, weeping, his mind confounded by grief and despair with the expectation of Hanuman and the other monkeys sat next to him. Renouncing Sugriva and praising Bali, they all sat on Kusagrass with their face turned out to east, thinking of Sugriva fury and Ram's powers. They prepared for death as they sat there rowing in dismay. They suddenly saw a numerous bird come out of the mountain caves. The bird looked upon the line of monkeys appearing like a row of mountain peaks on the plateaus beneath him. Realizing they were observing the players of fasting until death, he said to him, "Surely this food has been ordained for me by providence." After a long time, I sat it sumptuously, fast, feasting upon the line of a monkey. One by one, on they fell dead from the strangulation. The bird dropped or drowned and fished near the monkey. Seeing him there, Angad turns to Hanuman and said, "Surely this is young Maharaj come in the person to punish us for failing to serve Ram's purpose." The, this bird reminds me of Jatayu, about whom we have heard from Sugriva. That glorious bird laid down his life for Ram in a fierce battle with Ravana. We shall also now give up our life for Ram's service, like the heroic vultures. So we too have failed to save Sita. The great birds heard him speak. He called out to Angad, who is the whom mentioned Jatayu. Where is the younger brother of mine? I have not seen him for a long. My heart trembles as I heard you speak of his death. How did he encounter the kings of Rakshasa? If it please you, O monkey, pray tell me everything you know. The bird told him that his name was Sampati. He lived high in the mountains, unable to fly because his wings had been burnt by the sun. He had lost touch with his brothers Jatayu for many years. Angada told the bird everything about himself and his companions. He narrates the story of the of how Jatayu had died protecting Sita. Now they were searching for the princess and had given up hope. Thus they thought they are fearful of Sugriva and Ram and are waiting for only that. Sampati cried out in anguish. His eyes filled with tears, and he said to Angad, Jatayu was dear or to me than life. Now he killed by the Rakshas, and I can do nothing to avenge him. Oh monkeys, I am old and worn out. What then can I do upon hearing this terrible news? Sampati explained how a long time ago he flown with Jatayu to heaven as we soared upwards, and upwards we perceived the earth with the numerous mountains as if she were covered with pebble. Her rivers looked like a so many threads. Great cities seemed like chariot wheels and forests like glossy plots. Tear fell from the bird's eyes, and he recounted how he had lost his brother, who had wanted to plow the sun as it crossed through to the heavens. When we reached the track of the fierce globe, however, we became overpowered by its rays. Jatayu had grown weak from heat and exhaustion. I therefore covered him with my wings to protect him. We then flew back to earth, where we became separated. I fell onto the Vindhya mountains with my wings completely destroyed by the scorching ray of the sun. Angad looked at the wingless bird. He must, he must know all the regions of the universe. Surely he knows where Ramana lived. Perhaps there was no still hope. The banner asked Sampati, "Can you tell us where lies the abode of the valiant of all the beings, Ravana?" Sampati had slumped down in sorrow, but upon hearing Angada's question, he lifted his head and opened wide his eyes. Although I am an old and useless bird, I can still render some service to the Ram. If you only you with my speech, I do indeed know where Ravana sleeps. I fact, as, in fact, as I lay upon this mountain and mountain some while back, saw him flying by holding Sita. The princess who was constantly crying out, Ram, 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 Lakshmana, help. Though Bharat told Angad that Ravana dwelt in a Lanka which was situated in the midst of the southern ocean, 800 miles away. The prince was being held captive to in Ravana's garden. Guarded by fierce Rakshasi, Sampati possessed the ability to see Sri Lanka. Even as he spoke to the monkeys, he said, "Although my wings are broken, my vision is not impaired. We vultures are capable of sighting objects at a great distance. Furthermore, my institution, I can understand that one of you will see soon, Sita, and then you will return again to Ram's presence." Requested by Sampati, the monkey took the bird to the seashore where he offered water to the departed soul of his brother. He then told them more about himself when he had first fallen to the Vindhya mountain. He had spoken with a Rishi named Chan, Ch- Chandrama, who was lived there. The bird had fallen at the sage's feet and related his sad tale. Weeping Sampati had said that he wished to throw himself from the mountain peak and end his life. The Rishi restrained him. telling him that in the future some monkey would arrive at the spot searching for Ram's divine consort. Although I am able to give you your wings back, I will not do so. As you are destined to render a service to Ram through these monkeys, you must remain here and tell them where to find Sita. At that time, your wings will again be restored. Somebody said that said the Rishi had then enlightened the bird with spiritual knowledge. He had told him that bodily supports must be borne by anyone as a reaction of their own past deeds. One should nevertheless realize that the real self is different from the body. Without being overly attached to the body, one should try to fix mind on the Supreme Lord, with whom all beings have an eternal relationship. Thus, Sampati should not lament for his broken body. He should live there patiently, thinking of Ram and waiting for his chance to render him some service. Sampati concluded. That was 8,000 years ago. I have survived here all this time, being fought, food and by my son. Now, at last, I have performed my service to them. Even as somebody spoke, a beautiful pair of wings spouted from his body. He rose at once into the air and called down to the monkey, "O Vanaras, Chandra, Chan, Chandrama, Rishi told me you would succeed in your mission." Indeed, he had. He said that the servant of Ram could easily cross the terrible ocean of birth and death. What then of this small sea? Take heart and go to the south. Cross the ocean and you will find Lanka, where Sita is held prisoner. The bird disappeared into the sky. Leaving the monkeys to continue their search, they were overjoyed, abandoning all thoughts of fasting until death. They leapt into the air, raced down to the beach, and rode with clay. Then they saw the blowing, billowing waves. How could they possibly cross the ocean? They did not possess the power of flight. The vast sea stretched into the distance looked as insur- insurmountable as the sky. Angada said, asked, "Which one among us can leap across this sea? Who shall overcome this deliver of the monkeys today? If any among you can jump over the ocean and reach Lanka, speak out and remove your fears." The monkeys all remained silent, gazing and unblinking eyes at the roaring sea. Angada spoke again, trying to inspire them with confidence. "I have no doubt any one of you is capable of his feat. As far as I am concerned, I am not only live 800 miles, but I do not know if I shall be able to return safely." Angada looked around all the parties. Among them was Jambavan, a great leader of the bear, who replied, "It is not right that you, our prince regent, should go on this expedition. Although you could live 1,000 or even 1,000 miles if you wished, one of us should go instead." Jambavan said that he himself could only cover 700 miles, having grown old. Each of the monkeys then stated how far he could live. Some said 100, some 200, or some said some 500 miles, but none said they could live the full distance and return again. Jambavan then spoke to Hanuman. to who is sitting silently. O violent king, you have not told us of your strength. I know you to be possessed of a tremendous ability. Jambavan describes Hanuman's path and power. The monkey was begotten by you, and soon after his birth he had leaped into the sky for thousands of miles, wanting to catch the sun. At that time he had been struck down by Indra, Hanuman's father. The wind god became aggrieved to see his son killed, and he had chased to blow. All created beings then began to suffocate due to the stoppage of the air in the universe. The gods sought to appear by bringing human lives to life. They had they had also blessed the monkey with many wonderful powers. On the strength of God's blessing, Hanuman had become fearless even as a young child. He had played in the hermitage of the Rusi mischievously throwing about their paraphernalia and stopping their sacrifice. To check him, the Rusi had uttered an imprecation: "You will forget your great power. Only when you hear powers described by another will you again remember them." Jambavan concluded his narration about Hanuman. There was no doubt that he could leave to Lanka. Why then was the sitting there indifferently? Could he not see the monkey's punks in despair? Hanuman stood up. Jambavan speak. He had entered the Rusi curse. He remembered his great powers and felt encouraged by Jambavan. With a great roar, he said, "I shall jump across this mighty ocean." He then expanded his body up 50 times of his normal height, stretched his arm and so yawning. He spoke in a voice that resounded like a thunder. "I climb my descent from the mighty Vayu, who circulates through all of space and easily smashed down mountain peak. I could leap to the outer limits of the universe. I am quite able to overtake the blazing sun as it moves from the east across the western mountains. Today I shall leap from Mount Mahindra, scattering the clouds, shaking the mountains, and trying off the sea. I will swiftly and easily reach Sri Lanka in one great bound. I have no fear." Hanuman rode again and again, filling the monkey with joy. Jambavan replied, "Our grief is now dispelled. We are depending on you, O gallant monkey. We shall stand on one foot in yogic meditation here upon the seashore, praying for your success until you return." Hanuman reassured the monkey further. He asked him what he should do. Should he inhalate the entire Rakshasa horde and rescue sorry, rescue Sita, or should he single-handedly king Ravana, uproot Lanka and carry it along with Sita back to Ram? Angada asked him to first locate Sita and then report back for that was Sugriva's order. In consulting consultation with Ram and Sugriva, they could then decide on their next course of action. Hanuman bowed to the instruction and bounded to Mount Mahindra a few miles away, its peak piercing the cloud. He raced up the side of a mountain and stood on its summit. As he stood there, rolling the clouds and Siddhas assembled in the sky above him, uttering benediction humans. They dropped celestial flowers and beat their drums. The huge monkey folded his hand to the east and offered respect to Vayu, his father. He concentrated his mind and gazed out towards Lanka. Hanuman felt honored to have such an opportunity to render Ram service. From his first meeting with the prince, he knew Ram to be his eternal master. He felt Ram's ring bound in the cloth that Sita would be overjoyed to receive that token and know that Ram would soon arrive to rescue her. With a sense of election, elation, or Hanuman contemplated approaching Ram with news of Sita. He squatted down and prepared to jump. With a great cry of victory to Ram, Hanuman sprang upwards with a tremendous force, pressing the mountain deeps into the depth. Earth, animals, and rushed down the mountainside in the direction that she enraged in meditation in the mountain forest where she shattered and rose into the air. Great serpents moving about all the sides of the mountain become furious and beat the rocks which then glowed red from the serpent's virulent poison. All the trees shook and shed their blossom, and the whole mountain appeared covered with flowers. The large fishery appears in the mountains, and the different colors stream issued out as Hanuman leapt upwards. Mountain Mahindra presented a beautiful sight, and the monkey gazed off in wonder and awe. Then they went down on the beach to begin their wait for Hanuman's returns. This is how the monkeys had began the search for Mata Sita. Hope you got some mm, information regarding Ramayana on this chapter. If you got some information regarding Ramayana, you may comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe this channel. Jai Jagannath, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.